Hello everyone! In this lesson, we will learn the methods and principles of fire extinguishing. Combustion requires the combination and the interaction of three elements. The principle of fire extinguishing is to make these three elements not exist at the same time or interact with each other. So the fire extinguishing methods mainly include isolation method, suffocation method, cooling method, and suppression method, also known as chemical interruption method or suspension method. Our learning objectives in this lesson are master methods and the principles of fire extinguishing. Familiar with the fire extinguishing methods and principles in the basic safety, fire prevention, and fire extinguishing examination test site. This course is divided into 4 parts, e.g. methods and principles of fire extinguishing burning types, test, extension. Part 1, VE. Watch the video and answer the question.
The basic principles and methods of fire extinguishing include 1. Cooling fire extinguishing, lowering the temperature of the combustible material below the ignition point, and the combustor will stop. 2. Isolation fire extinguishing, separating it from the combustible material being burned or cutting off the source of the combustible material. If there is not enough combustible material in the combustion zone, the combustion can be terminated, and the fire can be extinguished. 3. Suffocation fire extinguishing the combustion of combustible materials is carried out by the action of oxidants, and it can only be carried out at a minimum oxygen concentration. If it is below the minimum nutrient concentration, combustion cannot proceed and the fire is extinguished. 4. Chemical suppression fire extinguishing destroys the free radicals generated during the combustion process, forms stable molecules or low-activity free agents, thereby terminating the combustion reaction and achieving the purpose of fire extinguishing.
Question: how many fire extinguishing methods are introduced in the video? Part 2, methods and principles of fire extinguishing burning types. E. Isolation method. Isolation method is a method of removing combustibles from the combustion area and its vicinity, interrupting the supply of combustibles and thus stopping combustion. R. Suffocation method. The suffocation method refers to the method of reducing the oxygen content during the combustion process, making the combustion oxygen deficient and achieving the purpose of extinguishing the fire. It is divided into the isolation oxygen suffocation method and the dilution oxygen suffocation method. 3. Fusion method. Cooling refers to the method of lowering the temperature of combustibles to below the ignition point to stop the combustion. For example, water or carbon dioxide can be sprayed on the burning surface to extinguish the fire, or water can be used to cool the area near the fire source to prevent the spread of the fire. 4. Suppression method. The suppression method is to add fire extinguishing agents to the combustion material, capture combustion, supporting free radicals and produce stable free radicals, thereby achieving the goal of stopping combustion. Part 3. Test. Let's do some exercises. Part 4. Extension. Knowledge expansion. Watch the video to understand the fire extinguishing methods of electrical appliances and oil pan fire.
The correct way to extinguish a fire is to use water to extinguish it. However, this idea is not entirely correct, because the following fires cannot be extinguished with water. In case of electrical fire, first unplug the plug or switch off the power supply and then use wet cloth or sand. To put out the fire, never use water or foam extinguisher to put out the fire without power off. Because both water and foam can conduct electricity, which is likely to cause electric shock accidents, nitrogen dioxide extinguisher, jewelry powder extinguisher, or jewelry sand can be used to put out the fire. When an oil pot catches fire, do not pour water over it, as hot oil will explode when it comes into contact with water. The oil fire will splash everywhere, and quickly pour the cut cold vegetables along the edge into the pot to extinguish the fire. You can also use a pot cover or a large damp cloth that can cover the oil pot to cover the burning oil pot and prevent the burning oil from coming into contact with the air and extinguishing it. If the range hood has already been ignited, please leave the fire scene quickly and call the police. If the fire must be immediately evacuated from the fire scene, and the fire alarm telephone number is 119, after calling immediately reports the detailed location of the fire, the main objects on fire, the fire situation, and your name, so that firefighters can predict the fire situation and carry corresponding firefighting tools. If conditions permit, special personnel can be assigned to wait at nearby intersections to guide fire trucks to the fire scene, so that they can quickly arrive at the scene and organize firefighting efforts.
That's all for this lesson. Thank you.